Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be stepping into the Westlands for another solo tabletop experience, as you know, on this channel. This game is called Adventurous, and a couple months ago I tested this game out privately, and I was using the dedicated solo expansion. So the creator had either reached out to me or I reached out to them on Reddit, I believe. And they have a solo expansion called Undaunted. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So the core game is Adventurous. It's called Adventurous. And then we have the rules for solo here as well. So with my previous character, I made it a few days into the wild. I made an elven druid because I don't play druids a lot. So I was like, let's try a druid. But I was brutally crushed to death by an ogre in a single hit. And so I realized, this game is pretty unforgiving. It is has OSR sensibilities, and these solo rules are still in beta, so he is still working on them. And I gave my feedback. I had some notes that I sent over from the playtesting that I did before. And yeah, so I'm back. It's a couple months later. I've played other stuff, but I wanted to come back to it and record it and give it another shot, build out a new character and all that good stuff. And I was reviewing the rules a little bit earlier today. And also I am bringing some custom house rules to ensure that I survive a little bit longer. And I think maybe that's another critique or feedback, is that the solo rules better support someone actually solo rather than dying so quickly. And maybe it was just the luck of the dice and all that. So it could have been that. It could have been that, like, I was just unlucky with rolling. But I did add in some rules. So first, exactly what is this game? Adventurous is a solo, actually it's a fantasy RPG that uses this really intuitive D6 mechanic. And so it's pretty interesting. So you just need D6s for the most part. I believe you just need D6s. So whenever I attempt something risky, I will roll a number of six-sided dice equal to my relevant attribute. So a 5 or a 6 is a success, but if I roll 2 of them, it's a strong success. And if I don't roll any, it's a failure. And I have learned from my mistakes before in the past. So hopefully I can I'm going fully optimized with this next character. I'm min-maxing the hell out of this guy. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, so the core mechanic right here, you roll a number of six-sided dice equal to the value of the relevant attribute. So if the dice show 1, 5, or 6, it's a weak success. If it shows at least 2 5s or 6s, strong success. And then if the dice show no 5s or 6s, it is a failure. So basically, you want to see a 5 or a 6 at some point in the dice. But if you fail, you do get 1 experience point. So it kind of helps balance out the feeling of failure and that's it. Because some games you'll fail and you're just like, okay, that's it. And I really like these type of games where it's like a tiered success, or it's a no and, which is what I really appreciate, and not just a pure no or no but. So a failed test should never be a full stop. It should always have some sort of consequence. So yeah. And then weapons abilities have their effect listed as W2/S3, for example. So W equals weak, S equals strong, and the number listing the effect. So if you have a one-headed sword, it deals W4, S8. So if it's a weak hit, then it deals 4 damage. If it's a strong hit, it does 8 damage. And that's what that means. And so rolling, for example, it says rolling 4 six-sided dice and getting 1, 3, 4, 6. 6 is a success, so it would be 6 damage. Oh wait, let's see. Sorry. Oh, it's just 1 6. Right. Okay. So a weak success, and therefore you would deal 4 damage with the longsword. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting back into it. So I have so many other mechanics in my brain. So there's other mechanics where if it's a 6 you roll, like I'm thinking of like Year Zero Engine and stuff like that. It's a full success. But here, 1 6 is a weak. 1 5 or 6 is a weak success. Okay, so there we go. Again, what does W3S6 mean? W3/S6 is short for weak 3 strong sits, and it's the effect of a test. Some abilities and magical items have special effects that occur on what's called double sixes. This is when the dice show at least 2 sixes when a test is made. Getting double sixes also grants the group momentum. And so momentum, I believe, is a reroll, and that's one of my custom rules as well that I added in. So I tweaked how momentum works a little bit, and we'll see. I add in, like, what I do when I solo play is I'll add in custom rules, and sometimes they don't work. Sometimes it makes the game a little too easy, and so I'll remove it because the challenge is gone. But it was rather deadly when I first played, so I was like, let me add in a few more assurances that kind of will balance out that I'm playing solo. So momentum is the representation of the momentum that the group has. The party gains momentum on double sixes when taking tests, like attacking or defending or using abilities. Once momentum has been gained, it can be used to reroll dice or activate certain magic items. And momentum can, well spent, can truly turn the tide of a battle. And it's kind of reminded me of momentum in, like, Ironsworn and Starforged. It's similar. It's very helpful once you build up momentum. But momentum here is just a die reroll. Momentum in Ironsworn is it builds up and you get more and more points, and then eventually you can, like, replace a bad roll. So it's similar in that it's a helping mechanic that you use, and it refreshes all that. So that is the core. This is the core rules. We have the 5 attributes here, which I will be putting in this digital character sheet here. Got the core stats: strength, dex, will, knowledge, and charisma. And I already know I'm going to be creating a paladin half orc, so that's there already. So yeah, those are the 5 attributes, and then I have my custom rules as well. But before we get to that, let's go over. We have Undaunted here. These are the solo rules. And because I'm playing without a game master, as you know, I'm using these rules here, and I'll be exploring the wild and using this hex map that is the default for this game called the Westlands. And so I'll be just using that because why not? And there is a daily cycle, so every day I'll roll for weather, and then I'll choose to either travel the lands or search and discover. Those are moves. So solo has moves here, just like Ironsworn or like any PBTA type system. So we have the basic moves here, face a challenge, suffer the consequences. We have explore moves. Then we have rest, flee, and search moves, bond moves, quest and treasure. And so, yeah, I think one of my feedback was like, oh, I wish these moves were cards somewhere, because I did find myself, like, using them quite a lot when I was testing, I believe. But yeah. And so, you'll check for new points of interest, and then we'll rest and recover. And so I believe rest and recover is here. So resting for the night. And then, to balance the fact that I am entirely alone against these groups of monsters or whoever I encounter, and I don't want to be killed by an ogre again, there is the true solo mode. You can now have 2 actions instead of 1 during combat, and there's extra starting HP, there's bonus, a few bonus attribute points. But as I learned the hard way, even that isn't always enough, because I died. And it shows the core rules, and then it shows, like, the core rule differences. So the rules for overland travel and exploring the wild are completely replaced with the ones in this book. So I won't be using the ones from the core rulebook. Hirelings are replaced. Hunter class feature are replaced. I'm not going to play Hunter, so don't have to worry about that. Here we go. True solo. 2 actions per turn, allowing you to attack twice, use 2 abilities, and so on. You get plus 5 max HP and then 5 additional attribute points to spend at character creation. And then it says you are also highly recommended to recruit hirelings and do your best to seek out NPC companions to strengthen your party. Which, I mean, I understand. I usually like to play, like, truly solo without companions or hirelings. Like, I think a game should be able to survive if you just want to play one lone character. And so that's what I tested out before, and I don't think it works. That's why I have my custom rules in here. Then we have some journaling stuff. I don't journal, but I keep notes about play. So there's that. So here are my house rules. First, I'm doing an extra 5 HP. So You already get plus 5 HP from these true solo rolls. I'm adding another 5. So there's that. I'm trying to prevent another one-shot death. I'm having another rule I'm calling Heroic Defiance. So once per session, if a blow would kill me, I miraculously survive at 1 HP instead. And that's just, I can only do that once per session. And then the other rule I'm calling Generous Momentum. So normally you only get a reroll token when you roll double sixes. I've changed it so that any strong success grants momentum. So yeah. And I believe a strong success is a 5 and a 6, I believe. If the dice show at least 2 5s or 2 6s, sorry. If the dice show at least 2 5s or 6s, or one of each is a strong success. So 2 5s, 2 6s, a 5 and a 6, that's a strong success. But I believe double 6 is also, you gain momentum and then activate some certain things too. So yeah, so some abilities and magical items have special effects that occur on what's called double sixes. Lastly, double sixes also grant 1 experience point. So there you go. But I'm getting momentum on just any strong success rather than just 2 6s. And then I have a 4th one, which I'm still unsure about, but I'm calling mid-battle bandages. So I can now spend one of my actions and 1 supply item from my inventory to instantly heal 1d6 HP during combat. And we'll see how it goes. That might make the game too unforgiving, but we'll see. Because maybe just the extra 5 HP is helpful, and maybe the generous momentum roll is already helpful. And so I made mid-battle bandages to see if that's helpful as well. And so the campaign is going to take place in the Westlands. As I said, it's this wild province ruled by Baron Vendrick Goldbeard. And so that is where we're starting. And we have, we're going to take on a quest, because quest is a mechanic here. I remember the designer was like, have you tried out quest? And I said, oh no, I didn't even try out quest in my original playthrough. So I like it because I was like, I need a goal. I need something to do. So quests are certain moves, events, and encounters will have you meet an NPC offering a quest. When this happens, use the tables in this chapter to generate the quest objective, complication, and location. A quest is not resolved all at once. Instead, it unfolds step by step as objectives are completed and new complications arise. Okay, so then you can progress a quest. You make the progress a quest move, and then you can find more details in the descriptions of the progress a quest and complete a quest move. And then we have our quest generator, which we will use to generate a quest, like the first one, to get us started. But before we generate the quest, let's create the character. So we have to create this person, and then we'll find out what their quest is. We're going to generate the mission procedurally using the quest table. So, wait. So should I do the quest first and then try to see if I should do the quest first and then build out the character? I guess it doesn't matter. I already have the table up, so let's generate this quest. Let's do it. Okay, so let's roll a d6 and see. It's a 2. So it's a fetch quest. Okay. Okay, so let's roll d66 and see what the target is. Okay. It looks like I rolled 42. 42, cultist spy is the target. I usually like to roll for complication when I find the person. Okay, so we got the quest objective. It's a fetch quest. The quest location. So roll on the table below to determine where your quest takes place. If the objective is destroy and the target is sacred relic, the relic is located at the rolled location. Okay, d6 hexes from. When an entry says d6 hexes, roll 1d6 for distance and 1d6 for direction. Count that many hexes from the listed reference point to find the exact hex. See page 25 for directions. Okay. Okay, so let's roll for the location. That's another d66. So 61. It's the furthest settlement. Really? For the settlement from what? I will say. Okay, so I didn't roll for powerful foe, so I won't roll on that table. So I think that is it. Okay. So when an entry says d6 hexes, I don't have d6 hexes. So like if I rolled 31, it would have been d6 hexes from PC location. But I didn't. I rolled furthest settlement, which I'm not sure. So my quest is to go find this cultist spy, but along the way I have the kind of daily hex procedure. And so, could be a point of interest, could be fighting, so we'll see. So there we go. Let's do character creation. I already know it's going to be a paladin half-orc. So it says choose your ancestry, name, gender, and age, class, attributes, character description, starting equipment, all that good stuff. Okay. Character's name, I'm not sure. Also, I really like this. I like when there is like, hey, here's what the character sheet means. And I love this. There's so many character sheets where I wish it had like a tutorial of what every slot means and all that good stuff. And I like that it reminds you. I'm going to zoom in, but strong success, weak, failure. Just a little reminder of what the roles mean. Appreciate it. Okay, so players can choose from 6 iconic ancestries and read more about attribute allocation on page 42. I'm going to be playing a half-orc. Half-orcs combine human courage with orcish strength, and they have imposing figures. Okay, so I know common and brutish, so I will... Oh, it's already in the character sheet. Okay. I already have +2 strength, and I have a strong back, so large items only take up 1 inventory slot. So +2. Strength is already at 2, so I will enter that in. Right now, don't got any luck, don't got any doom. This is where I'm tracking momentum. And my health, I believe my health's at 20, but we'll double check. My abilities here, strong back, large items. There we go. So that's put in already. Okay. So half orc, and now I'm going to choose the class. I guess we could do name, gender, and age. I don't know. I'm gonna look up, half orc female names, right? Online, half orc. We're gonna call her Ushara. I just saw that name, Ushara. Gender, say female. Age. How do half orcs age? Like, what is their aging life cycle thing? Yeah, like when do they reach maturity? So they mature faster than humans, reaching adulthood around age 14. So they age quickly and they rarely live past 75. So middle age is actually 30 to 35 and adulthood is 14 years old. So physical and psychological maturity similar to a young human adult. So a young adult, we'll say 30. She's 30. Why not? Middle age. We have Ushara, the half-orc paladin, female, 30 years old. Describe your character. So let's go to class. We have warrior, there's a rogue, there's a wizard, paladin. Let's go. Your primary attribute is strength. You are a holy warrior driven by conviction and justice. So my class feature is Divine Command, which is already in the sheet here. Advantage on Cha tests. Additionally, when ordering hirelings, a weak success counts as a strong success. Nice. Okay, and then my abilities are Hammer of Justice. I can hurl a magical hammer at a target within near range, and the hammer deals W2S4. So weak, it would be 2, and strong hit, it would be 4 damage, and makes the target stuck. I have my Holy Shield once per encounter. Enclose a target within near range in a golden sphere. The sphere absorbs the next source of damage fully and is then destroyed. The sphere lasts 1 minute or until destroyed. Okay, so the sphere absorbs. So it looks like I can only use it once. I mean, yeah, it does say once per encounter. Lay on hands. Daily. Touch a friendly target and restore W5 S10 HP to it and give it advantage on its next test. Now, can I lay hands on myself? Oh yeah, you betcha. Okay, so then I have all these talents. Do I get all these talents? I don't believe I get... Do I get all these talents and abilities? I'll have to double check that. But, so the base characters start with 10 HP. The solo rules, the core solo rules, give you an extra 5. And then my custom house roll, another 5. So I'm starting with 20. And then for starting equipment, I'm going to choose... There was a kit that I liked before. Let's see if I can find it. It's called The Wall, I think. Yeah, here we go. Starting equipment. The wall. The wall equipment kit focuses on protection and is suitable for characters that plan on charging headfirst into battle, such as warriors and paladins. There we go. So I have one-handed melee weapon of choice. It's a hammer, of course. Potion increases AP by 1 and strength by 1 for 1 minute. AP, I believe, is armor. 2 supplies. Take up 1 inventory slot per supply. But I got a strong bag. So shield gives 1 armor point, takes up 2 inventory slots. So I have a strong bag. Large items only take up 1 instead of 2. So I think my armor is only going to take up 1 instead of 2. And then so my armor goes up to 1. And then one-handed melee weapon of choice. Okay, so now to put the points, because you have to allocate points. All right, so I believe the base is all 1. But let me double check. Okay, so during character creation, your character starts with a score of 1 in all attributes. Okay, so I got 1. It was 1 plus 2 coming from half work, so I'm already 3 in strength. Your ancestry gives you 2 additional points. And then lastly, you have 3 points that you could spend freely. But for the solo rules, you have 5 instead of 3. And I'm gonna double check. Oh, you have 5 additional. So you have 3 and then 5 additional attribute points. Okay, so I'm gonna put 2 more into strength. So strength's gonna be at 5. I'm gonna put 1 into dex. Willpower is, I'll keep at 1. I'll say knowledge. We'll put 2 in knowledge. And there we go. Charisma, we'll keep it at 1. It's for social interactions, I will be horrible at it. So I can roll 5 dice for strength, 2 for dex. Will and charisma will be 1 dice, and then knowledge will be 3. And then I have armor points. I have light armor, and then I have a shield as well. So I have 2 armor points. Okay, we're gonna give her a warhammer. And let's see, it deals W4S8 damage. And then we have Potion of Strength that we will add in here. And then we have Supply. It's just called Supply. And Supply could be food, water, it's I think it just like generalizes it. And then I have my shield as well. So I have 6 slots filled. Starting wealth is 2d6 times 10. So let's roll that. 2d6 times 10. 5 times 10 is 50. So we have 50 coins so far. And then I believe my solo rules kind of added that here. Solo trackers. And then I added the keywords, core rules, like a cheat sheet here on this custom digital character sheet. No talents just yet. I believe talents start at level 2. Are there tables to like describe what she looks like is what I'm wondering now. I think so. All right. So there's like describe your character. There's the past. Ooh. Personality trait, physical trait. Okay. Let's see her physical trait. Okay, I see 1 and 5. So 15. Oh, warm green eyes. Okay. And her personality trait, let's roll for that. 46. Never turns down a meal. Yeah. And then her past. Let's see, is it classic tragedy? 24. Escaped execution. Ooh. So that is Ushara. Okay, so we don't know where we're starting, so we're gonna roll on the starting settlement. I believe that's starting settlement here. So we're going to roll a d6. It's a 1, so it's the village on the coast. It's very general because it's like, because it wants you to be able to work with any map. So it's like the village on the coast. Okay, so let's look at the map then. On the coast, we got Sunken City. Let's start at Haven. Actually, there's a place called Haven, and let's start there. Okay, and then we're gonna do the starting season. So let's see what season it is. 5, so it's autumn. Okay, it's a little cold outside. Not too bad. Kind of want to change the music. Here's the music that I'm listening to now. It's preparing for a quest. Fantasy Tavern music. Blue Turtle has some really good music. But I need something a little grittier. Maybe this one? It's all too calm. It's like plucking of strings. You can't hear it, but it's like plucking of strings. Still, it's another harp. Yeah, this one's another heart, but at least it's a little mysterious, this one. Okay, so I needed to change the music, you guys. Music is so important to me. I had to change it. Okay, so I rolled a fetch quest, and so we're targeting a cultist spy with a complication that's going to be determined later. And the location rolled was the furthest settlement. So starting location is the coastal village of Haven. And then looking at the map of the Westlands here, this is the map of the Westlands. I'm using Owlbear Rodeo, if anybody's wondering, to track the map. And so the location rolled was the furthest settlement. So I rolled for my starting. I got Haven. The furthest settlement from Haven, let's see actually. Probably Trondhall here. Because it's the only one that has like a little picture of a settlement. So I think it's Trondhall. So yeah, let's go there. So that's our destination. A trek across this province. So now we have our kind of driving purpose. It's time. So we build our most optimized character possible. So there we go. Okay, so we're getting started. So we're in the crisp, cool air of autumn. It greets us, and we step out of this actually pretty picturesque fishing village of Haven. And so we have our journey to Trondhall. It looks like it's going to be long. The roads ahead might be treacherous. Oh my god, but let's see. So here we go. Let's zoom in a little bit on the map. So right now we're in this hex here. I don't want to cover up we're in Haven. And then we could go this way. It looks like there's a road that we can take. I'm looking here. Go this way on the map. Go towards Stonegate. And then go travel up north past Emerald Lake. And then get here. We could take the roads instead of traveling through the forest, actually. Oh, let's update her name in Owlbear. We have Ushara. I'll have a image for her later. But Ushara is here. It's autumn. So let's do this. To officially begin our first day of travel, we have to follow the Undaunted daily cycle. So let's roll 2d6 on the autumn weather table to see what the skies hold for us today. So I know there's a table for the seasons. Also, there is a doom counter. When doom reaches 5, immediately roll 2d6 on the table below. I want to remind myself, to track doom goes from 0 to 5. It represents mounting pressure. Some move outcomes and random events will increase doom. So I guess it will tell us when we roll horribly. Okay, so here we go. Here is the autumn table. So let's roll 2d6 and see what we get for the autumn table. Okay, I got 3 and 1. 31. Well, actually add them together, so it's 4. Oh, biting frost. Rest and recover is made with disadvantage. Ooh, okay. So rest and recover, that move. So I believe I will roll a certain amount of d6s. Either it's 3, I think it's 3d6 and I'll take the lower 2. But we will see. Okay, and then we can either travel the lands or we can search and discover the area around Haven first. But I think let's travel the lands. That's it. That is a move here. We're not roads. So when following a road, the PCs cannot get lost. So even when failing the travel lands move, they make it to the next hex, but still roll on the wilderness mishaps table. Whenever a road crosses a river, there is a bridge. And I'm definitely going to be following this road here. So I'm going up, what is it? Northeast, that hex. And so let's go to, there's a bridge, but not just yet. I see the bridge there. So there is a whole bunch of tables, but let's go up to the moves because we have to travel the land. Here we go, travel the lands. When you spend the day traveling to an adjacent hex on the map and look for food and water on the way, roll according to the terrain type you're traveling into. So the terrain type is fair because I am following a road. So because it's a road, it's a fair terrain type. So, and as we know, I can't get lost, but I could still have a mishap. So let's do this. I'm going to roll 5d6 and see what we get. Hopefully we get some 5s and 6s. Hopefully we get multiple. Here we go. 5d6. Ooh, nice. That is awesome. I got 5, 4, 1, 6, 6. Oh snap, that's a really good roll. I'm pretty sure that's a strong hit. So you reach the next hex and find all the food and water you need for today. So I'm gonna move my little character here. I'm now in this hex. I can see the Cathedral of Light nearby. Okay, but also real quick, I just realized I do get an extra language because my knowledge is at 3, so I learn one additional language. I'm gonna go with Celestial because, hey, I think it fits a paladin. And so roads are fair terrain. I was just double checking the rules. So 5, 4, 1, 6, 6. That is a great way to start. So we rolled 3 success dice, a 5 and 2 6s, making this a strong success. But more importantly, we did roll double 6s. So you know what that means. We have momentum. Boom. So just to check that. So our destination is reached. We push down the autumn road, successfully enter the hex north of Haven, well, northeast. And because of the strong success, automatically foraging was success. So we find all the food and water we need. So we do not need to spend one of our supply to eat tonight. And so momentum was gained. I now have the token to re-roll a die later when I need it. And then experience was gained as well. So then I will check off 1 experience here. Boom. So narratively what that looks like is it's biting autumn, right? So it is cold, and especially we're near the coast, near their water, it is exceptionally cold currently. And so we could see our breath as it mists in the freezing air, but our spirits are high. We easily navigate this coastal road, foraging some like late season roots and fresh water along the way. And let's check to see if we discover a point of interest. And so that is one of the steps that we take in this daily cycle. If I roll a 5 or a 6, so I'm going to roll a 1d6 and see if we find anything. And I rolled a 6. Okay, let's go. Okay, so point of interest. Okay, here we go. Daily procedure. We rolled for weather. We traveled the lands. And then now we discovered a point of interest. So let's go to page 28. And at the end of the day, we'll rest and recover, but it's biting cold, so it will be at disadvantage. So let's go to page 28. And so we will do that. And roll D66. Let's see what we find. Maybe might be able to interact with something. Let's see, 25. Ooh, it's a landmark. Okay. So I'm going to roll a D6. See what type of landmark it is. It's a 2. So it's a solitary bell tower. Now the other thing is, I wish, like, it's a point of interest, right? But it doesn't say that's it. It's just a solitary bell tower. And it's like, okay, I guess that's just like flavoring to flavor the world. I wish I could do something or get some loot, as I'm like a little loot goblin myself personally. But it's fine. I don't have like a narrative thing to do just yet. I can see in the future, like doing some type of narrative. I don't know. But, meeting an NPC if I needed one. But I'm not looking for anybody just yet. So I just see a solitary bell tower for right now. Okay, so what we are going to do next is rest and recover. And so we are going to do that now. So, because we're not going to interact with the bell tower for right now, we're going to conclude the day with the rest and recover move. And because we successfully foraged today already with a successful roll earlier, we do not need to spend a supply for food and water. And because the weather I rolled this morning was biting frost, we have to make this move with disadvantage. So normally camping in the wild uses 3d6 here, and I think disadvantage will just be 2d6. So we're gonna see how well Ushara sleeps through the freezing night, and with only 2d6, the chances are not looking good. But let's go. Oof. We have to get a 5 and a 6. Let's see. I'm gonna roll. Oh, that's that is a 1 and a 4. So I believe that's a weak hit, or Is it a weak hit or is that a... Okay, hold on, let's go. Back here, I just want to double check. If the dice show no 5s or 6s, it is a failure. But hey, I get 1 experience point, so there we go. Oh no, that's a failure. Okay. Okay, so what happens on a failure? We're in the wild, so we recover 1d6 HP. Well, I didn't lose any. And face an encounter. Okay, that's quick. That was quick. Okay, so time to face an encounter. Okay, so when you encounter a creature of some sort, test your luck. You cannot use luck when making this move. To determine what you encounter, consult the most suitable encounter table found in the encounters chapter. So let's see what we find. It is some type of creature, but let's check our luck. And this is just going to let us know how the entire situation is going to go. Okay, it's just 1d6. I believe it's just 1, but let's double check the rules because the rules do mention luck somewhere. True solo. Okay, so it doesn't look like... It looks like I have to gain luck throughout play. So you don't start with any, I think? Or you start with 1? Your luck ranges from 0 to 5 and is used for a number of things. Yeah, so I believe my luck is 0. However, let's see. I think I can roll... I have a minimum of 1, I believe. Let's see. Yes. Test your luck. You have a minimum of 1 die. So let me just go back to the character sheet. I have 0. Yeah, I have 0 luck. So cannot use luck when making this move. So I can't like use it to re-roll or anything like that. I can't spend luck to gain advantage, as it were. So let's roll that 1d6 and let's see. Oh, yes! It's a 6. Oh my god. Okay, I roll an encounter with +1. Nice. Okay, so to determine what you encounter, consult the most suitable encounter table found in the encounters chapter. Okay, so cool. I got the +1, and that's good because lower numbers on the encounter tables usually represent like the more rare and scary monster. So, and that +1 helps to, you know, slightly up the bell curve toward more manageable threats. So let's see. So we have some company in the freezing dark. So let's find out what is creeping toward our camp. So I'm going to roll on these tables to generate the encounter. So let's see. What creatures do you encounter? Their reaction and their activity and their distance. So number 1, what is the encounter? What creatures do you encounter? Okay. Let's roll. What makes the most sense? I'm going to say coastline and islands. We're still pretty close to the coast. I mean, plains and farmlands, maybe. Nah. Okay, I'm going with coastlines and islands. And this is where we can add the +1. So I'm going to say 2d6 + 1. Okay, 7. So 1d6 Lizardman Brute. And then so I'm going to roll 1d6, so lower the better. Yes, just 1. I rolled a 1. So it's just 1 Lizardman Brute. Okay, so let's roll 2d6. Let's see what their reaction is to me. And this will just be 2d6. So that's a 7. Can I add +1 to all my rolls? Just want to double check. I think it's just to that first one. Okay, 7. Suspicious. Might attack if provoked or if PCs don't act with caution and respect. Okay, so let's see what is the activity that they were doing when we rolled up. So I'm going to roll 1d6. It was a 1. Okay, so they were on the move. Okay, so let's see the distance to me. Rolling. That's a 2. So the distance... Oh, I need to roll 2d6 actually. Okay, this might be... Am I tripping here? It says 2d6 and then the table shows 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 3. Maybe it's a typo. Maybe that should be 2. Okay, but I did roll a 2. So parties spot each other at near. Okay, so we rolled up the nighttime encounter. So to recap, we rolled a strong success on the luck test, so we weren't caught off guard. And I rolled for the distance, and we spot each other at near range, which is about 20 meters or 65 feet away. And I also rolled the creature's activity and reaction, so it's on the move, meaning it was likely just traveling through the area. And its reaction is suspicious, though. I mean, mechanically, suspicious is on the better side for us. It means it won't attack on sight, and it's wary of Ushara, and it will only attack if it's provoked or if we don't act with caution and respect, as it said. So, what are we up against? I'm looking at the stat blocks for the Lizardman. It has 7 HP, 2 armor, because it has a scaly hide and a heavy wooden shield. Okay, so that's what gives it the 2 armor points. And then it has a club that deals 4 damage on a weak hit, 8 damage on a strong hit, and it has throwing spear. So if we get into a fight, it has a couple of nasty special attacks we roll for randomly. So it attacks, and I really like that. I like a random attack, so I'll roll a 1d6 because I do, and that helps me. So it's not always the same thing that they do, and I really like these tables. And when solo games do this, so that could be fun, I think. Okay, and then it has like a tail sweep, so we make a dex test to avoid it. Interesting. And another a crushing blow that makes you vulnerable if you fail your strength test, which is not good. So we see Ushara, she's sitting by a camp, there's a warhammer resting, and then we can hear the crunch of the grass and the snow, and it alerts her. We look up and we see this hulking, cold-blooded reptilian warrior, this lizard man, and it stops dead in its tracks. It raises its heavy wooden shield defensively. It's kind of shivering slightly, and it locks onto us. And so we're having kind of like a tense standoff. So what does Ushara do next? 'Cause you have to use caution and respect. Let's go I'm not going to strike. I'm not going to do combat. Let's first, plan A is the diplomatic route, okay? De-escalation. We can try to motion for it to pass peacefully. I'm gonna try to, that's gonna cause a charisma test, and my charisma is an ungodly number. It's a 1. So I have 1 charisma, but my paladin class feature divine command, so let's go there. Advantage on all charisma tests. There we go. So I can roll 2d6. I do have a momentum token that I can spend to reroll. I die if I fail though, so let's do that. Let's do that first. Okay, I have 2d6 charisma test. Let's go. 2d6. Ooh! Oh no! That is a 1 and a 2. That is a failure, but the good news, I get XP. Boom. Oh no. I'm not gonna spend my momentum just yet, but I think next time, possibly, yes. But so yeah, that is a complete failure. I'm gonna keep it, take the XP. Oh, also I don't have momentum because as soon as you rest, momentum is taken out. Because you gotta it's like a use it or lose it thing, because as soon as you rest. So I don't have momentum actually. So that momentum token was wiped away. She is tired, she's freezing, momentum is gone, and that's fine because I wasn't gonna use it anyway. But the consequence of this, this is severe. The brute's reaction was suspicious, meaning it would only attack if provoked. So Ushara slowly raises a hand to gesture for peace, but in this freezing dark, she shifts her weight and her heavy armor clanks loudly, and combined with her towering half-orc stature and this massive warhammer that's resting on her knees, the lizard man interprets the sudden movement as a threat, and it lets out this piercing guttural hiss, and it shifts its heavy wooden shield forward and reaches for one of the jagged throwing spears strapped to its back. And my diplomacy has failed. We are in combat, everybody. Dum dum dum. I didn't want this. No, I don't want to fight you. So I'm using Owlbear Rodeo. So let's find a token. Okay, so we have Ushara here, and then we have the Lizard Man. And, okay, marked the XP for failing, so now we're at 3 out of 4. Okay, so combat flow. The initiative in Adventurous, the turn order is determined right at the start. And so it will remain the same for the entire encounter. So to see who strikes first, we're going to make an initiative test, so using our knowledge attribute. And so Ushara has a knowledge of 3, so we're going to roll 3d6 and go from there. Ooh, that is a 2, 3, and 3. That's a failure. So the brute is faster in the dark. It's going to attack first. So absolutely 0 5 or 6s, which means a complete failure. Now, normally failing a test grants the experience, but initiative tests are the one exception, so no XP for me this time. What failure does mean is that the Lizardman Brute is faster and it strikes first. So Ushara shifts her weight and her armor clanks loudly. And before she can even raise her warhammer, the Lizardman lets out that hiss, as I said. And since we spotted each other at near range, it uses its move to close the distance. And it's sprinting through the grass until it's right up in Ushara's face at close range. Now it's going to use its action to attack. So it had to move. So now it's right up on us. So they have a specific D6 attack table, so that's what we're going to roll on. And let's see what it does. 1d6, let's see what it does. And that's a 6, so it uses a weapon attack. Attack with the most suitable weapon. I would say it's club, right? I would say it's club. Not its throwing spear, because it ran over to me. Okay, so I'm going to say it's club, and so I need to make a strength test to block against the damage that's coming. But that's good. I have 5d6, so this is in my favor. Yes. Okay. That is 4, 6, 5, 4, 1. That's what I rolled. Okay, so that's a strong success, and I was looking at the rules again. On a strong success, the character avoids all damage and effects. So, if we picture this, the brute swings its club in a deadly arc, but Ushara doesn't even flinch. She kind of leans into the blow, raises her heavy shield, and the club bounces off with a loud crack, and leaving her completely unharmed. And it gets better because of my house rule, generous momentum. Any strong success grants me a momentum token, so I have momentum again. Boom. So now the brute's turn is over. It is Ushara's turn. She has 1 move and she has 2 actions per turn. So monster is right up in her face. We are at close range. We're gonna bring down the hammer, of course. Let's go. So when a player character attacks, we are going to use our warhammer. Yeah. As we just gotta crack it across his face, unfortunately. We didn't want to fight, but hey, he attacked us. So we took 0 damage, gained a momentum token. Let's go. We're gonna do, we could do the, big old double hammer smash. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Double hammer smash time. Let's go. Okay, so for each attack, I'm going to make a strength test. 5d6. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna roll 5d6 again. Ooh, okay. Nice. I see a 6 in there. So I see 2, 3, 4, 4, and 6. So on a strong success, we deal 8 damage. Oh my gosh, reduced to 6 by its armor, but damn, that's a good first roll. Yeah, we could kill it. Okay. Let's see. So first roll, I believe I rolled a 6. Or maybe a strong success. Maybe it was a weak success, actually, because I only rolled 1 6, actually. So it is a success with a cost, or we just deal weak damage. And then so weak damage is 4, and it's reduced to 2 by its armor. So we only do 2 damage that first turn. Okay. It was a weak hit because it was only 1 6. Okay. So I'm going to reduce his health to 5. Okay. And then we're going to roll again. And hopefully we get some double 5, double 6s. Yes! That is a strong success. On 2 or more 5s or 6s, you succeed perfectly or deal strong damage. So let's do that. So strong damage, strong success. Again, that would be 8 damage, but is reduced to 6. So I'm going to... Oh! That was it! He's done! Nice! Dead. Sorry, buddy. I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. Or did I? No, I'm a paladin. I'm not bloodthirsty yet. Dead. Now I can turn off the forest ambush music and just go back to the quiet. Okay, so does it have... It has loot on it, right? Let's see. So this is the Lizardman here. Let's see. Treasure, carried, mundane, lair, fine. Okay, so treasure is carried, something mundane. Nice. So let's loot the brute. The brute has a mundane treasure, so I'm going to grab my dice. I'm going to roll 3d6 on the mundane treasure table to see what we find. Okay, so let's go to that table. Mundane treasure. 3d6, let's go. Okay, that's 11. Nothing! Damn! 9 through 12 is nothing. Big sack of nothing. Next time. He didn't have anything on him, it's okay. Okay, so... that is the end of that day. After looting, the rest of the night passes uneventfully. We failed the rest and recover move from last night, Means we don't recover from any conditions, but since Usara is perfectly healthy at 20 HP max, there is absolutely no penalties, and the sun rises on day 2 of our journey toward the frozen north of Trondheim. Okay, so we're going to kick off the daily cycle. We're going to roll the 2d6 on an autumn weather table once again. Okay, here we go. 2d6, let's do it. 8. Autumn, gloomy light, cloudy skies. Okay, listen. 6 to 9 is like a middle of the road. I'll take it. Nothing bad, but nothing good, and that is totally fine. As we move again, okay, let's delete the lizard guy. We're going to move once again this way. So we're crossing the bridge. We're crossing a bridge over a river as we're following this road here, passing by Emerald Lake, and then eventually we'll be heading down towards Stonegate. But we did cross a bridge. I feel like there was a rule about crossing a bridge or something about rivers and stuff like that. Okay. Seems like the biting frost has lifted, but it is a thick blanket of gray, and it's very gloomy, cloudy. So very standard weather, no disadvantages. So we have our weather, so let's do step 2, and we have to decide if Ishar is going to travel the lands to push further up the road, or if we search and discover. I already moved the token. I think in the next hex I'll try and see what search and discover is all about. But I moved, so we're gonna travel the lands. Okay. Let's find this cultist spy. We're gonna keep pushing northeast towards Trondheim. We're following a road, so we have fair terrain, and that means we're gonna roll 5d6. And even if we fail this roll, we'll still make it to the next hex, even though we might have a mishap. So that's totally fine. So we're gonna go to aim. We're gonna go to travel the lands. It is fair, so we're gonna roll 5d6. More chances for some successes. Oh, that's just 1 6. And I believe just 1 6 is a weak success? Yes. So it's a success with a cost. So it's a weak one. You reach the next hex. You can also choose to have found all the food and water you need for today, but then must roll below for a mishap. Okay, you can choose to have found all the food and water you need, but must then roll below. So it's like we reach it, and we can either find all the food or use one of our supply. If we don't use our supply, there will be a wilderness mishap. Interesting. Okay. Trying to decide what to do. Should I... Because I could possibly face an encounter. You know what? I'm going to... We reach the next hex, and we do not find food or water we need for today. So we're going to have to use one of our supply. Because I don't want to roll a mishap just yet. Because we just finished an encounter. And I don't want to roll another one that quickly. Okay, so 1 supply is taken. That's that. But I only have 1 more for 1 more day. And then I believe we'll have to start like searching and discovering because you need food or it's not good. So because you need food and water each day by spending 1 supply. If you don't eat, you become exhausted or take 2 damage to HP if already exhausted. You die after 3 days without food and water. So we're not going to push our luck. We're going to say Ushara is a survivor and she knows better than to push it here when she doesn't have to. So we're going to play it safe. We're not going to forage for free food, which means I have to cross off one of my supplies, which I did already. And I have 1 supply left. So my bag is getting a little bit lighter, but I'm at least safe from any sudden hazards. And so now that we've officially entered a new hex, the cycle dictates that we have to search the area for a point of interest. So I'm going to roll 1d6. And if I get a 5 or a 6, we've discovered something. But maybe we won't. Let's see. That's a 5. What do we find? Hopefully not enemies. Okay, so we got the point of interest table here. So let's roll that d66 and see what we get. Okay, I got 11. So it's a dungeon. Ooh. Okay. Let's go to page 48. Dungeon. There are dark and perilous places filled with both valuable treasure and dangerous foes. Enter at your own risk, but make sure to bring supplies and able bodies. Dungeon exploration. When exploring dungeon solo, you still follow the rules for time and encounters found in the Dungeons in the Wild chapter. Okay, in addition, you use the search moves, or you use these moves, explore a dungeon and search and discover, together with the procedures found in this chapter to procedurally generate a dungeon as you explore it. You do not need to prepare a dungeon in advance. Ooh, okay. So there is a dungeon coming up, and I think because I want to read a little bit more about it, because I didn't even go through a dungeon in my first playthrough. I'm going to read a bit more about it as we're traveling up this. We went northeast again. We're passing the Cathedral of Light, and soon we'll be heading down to Stonegate. But before there, we see a dungeon. And, we can roll for the size and the type and delving and the room generation. But I think that's going to be longer than the time we have currently. So what I'm going to say is we're going to end the play session here. And then when I come back, it is dungeon exploration time. And that should be fun too. That's where we'll end it. So far, I think these rules have some very intuitive rules. I love tiers of success, and it's very different. It's usually like if you roll a 6, it's a complete success. But with this game, if you roll 1 6, it's just a weak success. So my brain's kind of recalibrating the mechanics, but I like it. I'm interested to see how it plays, led by a GM as well. But so far, I think these solo rules support solo, but maybe not fully just yet. That's why I had to add in my own homebrew rules. But I'm interested so far. Like my interest is piqued for sure, and I'm excited to see what we find in the dungeon. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and if you did, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.